The long journey of Nice. The penguin, my name is Nice, and I am a penguin from the cold southern edge of the world, where the wind sings across the ice, and the ocean breathes with powerful, endless waves. I was born in a colony where thousands of penguins stood together like rows of black and white stones. From the moment I cracked my shell and blinked at the frozen sky, I knew life here would never be simple. But I also knew it would be full of stories worth telling. Today, I want to share one of those stories, my journey, long and unforgettable, filled with lessons from the sea, the ice, and the creatures I met along the way. My earliest memories are of warmth, the warm belly feathers of my father as he shielded me from the bitter wind, and the warm, soft calls of my mother when she returned from the ocean with food. I was small back then, barely able to stand. The world looked huge, endless white ground, blue sky, and adults towering above me like tall guardians. Life as a chick is simple, but fragile. We eat, sleep, and wait for our parents to return. Wait for our wings to grow strong enough. Wait for our feet to stop stumbling. But during that time, I learned something important. In the coldest place on Earth, survival depends on staying together. Our colony was not just a group. It was a family. I admired the older penguins who marched in long lines across the ice. They moved with purpose, proud and confident. I dreamed of marching like them one day, my feet firm on the frozen ground, my eyes sharp enough to face the wild world. When I finally grew old enough to approach the ocean, I felt a mix of fear and excitement. The water was dark and mysterious, whispering to me like a deep voice calling from far away. "Don't be afraid," my mother told me. "The ocean gives us life. You must learn to trust it." I stepped closer, feeling the icy waves lick my feet. The cold shocked me, but it also awakened something inside me, an instinct older than my name, older than my colony. The first time I dove, the world transformed. Above the surface, everything was bright, sharp, and frozen. Beneath it, everything was fluid, silent, and strangely peaceful. My body moved differently in the water, faster and smoother. Like this was where I truly belonged. I chased small silver fish, though I was far too slow to catch them at first. With every dive, I grew stronger. With every swim, I grew braver. I knew I wanted to explore beyond the horizon someday. That someday came sooner than expected. One morning, the wind grew fierce. The snow came down so thick that even the tallest penguins disappeared into white fog. The sea roared angrily, waves rising like giants. I had wandered too far from the colony while practicing swimming, and before I realized what was happening, the storm had pushed me away from the shore. I tried to fight the waves, but they were too strong. A massive current pulled me deeper into the ocean, spinning me like a feather. I surfaced, gasping, searching for land, but all I saw was endless gray water. Fear clutched my chest. I was alone, but a voice inside me whispered, "Keep moving. Nice. Keep swimming. Do not stop." And so I did. For days, I drifted through open water. I learned to follow the direction of the sun, the push of the currents, and the rhythm of my own breathing. I learned to rest while floating and conserve my energy. Nature became my teacher. During that time, I met creatures I had only heard stories about. A giant whale passed beneath me, like a silent mountain. She rose gracefully and released a thunderous breath into the sky. Her eye, gentle and ancient, observed me for a moment. Then she continued her journey. A group of playful dolphins swam circles around me, clicking and whistling. They invited me to follow, and for a brief time, I forgot I was lost. I chased their shadows and raced their speed, though I never matched them. I even saw glowing creatures deep under the surface, tiny lights floating in black water like stars fallen into the sea. These moments reminded me that the world was bigger than my colony, bigger than the ice, bigger than anything I had imagined. One morning, after what felt like forever, I spotted something unusual on the horizon, a massive piece of floating ice. But Unlike normal ice, this one carried life seals resting, birds perched, and even a few penguins who looked nothing like me. They were taller, with bright yellow stripes near their heads. I climbed onto the ice island, exhausted but relieved. "Where do you come from, little one?" an older penguin asked. "Far south," I replied. "I lost my way during a storm." He nodded knowingly. "The ocean tests us all. Rest here. You are safe for now." For several weeks, I lived on that floating island. I learned from the other penguins how they hunted, how they traveled, how they survived in a place so different from our cold southern home. They welcomed me without hesitation, and for a moment, I wondered if I should stay forever. But deep down, I knew I had a home waiting for me, a colony that might still be searching, parents who might still be calling my name. One night, I stood at the edge of the floating island and stared at the sky. The Southern Cross constellation glowed brightly above me. My mother once told me, "The stars will guide you when the ice cannot." At that moment, I understood. The journey was not finished. I had to go back. The older penguin gave me a gentle nudge of encouragement. "Your heart knows the way," he said. "Follow it." So I dove once more into the vast ocean, this time with purpose. The journey back was challenging. I swam through cold currents, avoided drifting icebergs, and learned to catch fish with precision and speed. Every day was a test, but every day I grew stronger. The ocean no longer frightened me. It felt like a companion guiding me home. There were moments when I doubted myself, when the waves seemed endless, when hunger clawed at my belly, when exhaustion pressed heavy on my wings. But I remembered my colony, my parents, and the promise I made to myself. I will return. Step by step, stroke by stroke, I moved forward. Weeks later, just as dawn began to lighten the sky, I recognized the shape of the land ahead. The cliffs, the slope of the ice, the familiar calls in the distance. It was home. My heart thumped wildly as I waddled across the snow. The colony turned to look at me. For a moment, everything fell silent. Then my mother hurried toward me. My father followed close behind. "Nice!" my mother cried. "We feared we lost you." "I found my way back," I said softly. They pressed their warm feathers against me, and I felt the comfort I had missed for so long. The colony gathered around, listening as I told them about the storm, the ocean, the floating island, and all the creatures I had met. Their eyes widened with awe. I realized that even though I was young, I had seen more of the world than many adult penguins. In the days that followed, I returned to my routines, swimming, fishing, marching with the others, but I was not the same penguin as before. I learned that the world is far bigger than fear. I learned that getting lost can help you find yourself. And I learned that home feels even warmer when you return after a long journey. Sometimes the younger penguins ask me to tell them my story. I always smile and say, "The ocean is wide, but courage is deeper. If you keep swimming, you will always find your way." And now, I continue to explore, sometimes near, sometimes far, but always with the heart of a penguin who knows both adventure and home. I am Nice, the penguin who survived a storm, traveled across the sea, met the wonders of the deep, and returned wiser than before. And this is my journey.